Money has been an integral part of human history and has played a significant role in shaping societies and economies. Over the course of history, several different forms of money have been used, each with its unique features and characteristics. We will explore different money systems used in human history, including how they originated, how they were used, and how they eventually ended. The barter system, which dates back to prehistoric times. In this system, goods and services were exchanged directly, without the need for a medium of exchange like money. The barter system was based on the principle of mutual benefit, where individuals would exchange goods or services that they had in excess for those that they needed. However, the barter system had several limitations, such as the lack of a standardized measure of value, the difficulty of finding someone with whom to trade, and the perishability of some goods. As societies became more complex, the barter system was gradually replaced by more efficient and sophisticated forms of money. Halley sticks, which were used in medieval Europe from the 12th century until the 19th century. Halley sticks were pieces of wood that were notched or marked to represent a specific amount of money owed by one party to another. They were often used by monarchs and governments to record taxes, debts, and other financial transactions. Halley sticks were highly durable, difficult to counterfeit, and could not be easily duplicated, making them a secure and reliable form of money. However, they also had limitations, such as the difficulty of verifying the authenticity of the marks and the potential for accidental destruction. Cowrie shells, which were used as a form of money in several ancient civilizations, including China, India, and Africa. Cowrie shells were highly valued for their rarity and beauty, and were used for trade and exchange. They were also used as a symbol of wealth and status, and were often worn as jewelry or used in religious rituals. Cowrie shells had several advantages as a form of money, such as their durability, ease of transport, and cultural significance. However, their value was subject to fluctuations based on supply and demand, and they were vulnerable to counterfeiting. The widespread use of cowrie shells as a form of currency led to oversupply and a decline in their value. Rye stones, which were used in the island of Yap in the Pacific Ocean. Rye stones were large, circular discs made of limestone that weighed several tons and had a hole in the center. These stones were massive, with diameters ranging from a few centimeters to several meters. They were used as a form of currency, with the value determined by their size, shape, and history of ownership, rather than their physical location. The stones were used as a form of currency for large transactions, such as the purchase of land or the payment of fines. Rye stones were highly durable, and their ownership was recorded in a complex system of oral history and tradition. However, they were difficult to move and transport, which made them a less practical form of money than other systems. Swedish plate money, which was used in Sweden in the 17th century. Swedish plate money consisted of thin plates of copper or brass that were stamped with designs and denominations, and were used as a medium of exchange. However, the value of the plates was much higher than their actual worth, which led to inflation and economic instability. However, shell money was vulnerable to counterfeiting, and its value was subject to fluctuations based on supply and demand. Feather money of the Caroline Islands in the Pacific. This currency was made from the tail feathers of the red-capped lorikeet bird, which were woven into a braided cord. The value of the feather money was determined by the length of the cord, as well as the quality and rarity of the feathers used. Feather money had both economic and social value, as it was used for trade and exchange, as well as for ceremonial purposes. However, the supply of red-capped lorikeet feathers was limited, which made the currency subject to inflation and instability. The wampum beads of the Native American tribes of the northeastern United States. Wampum beads were made from the shells of quahog clams, which were polished and drilled to create cylindrical beads. The beads were strung together and used as a form of currency, with the value determined by the quality, color, and rarity of the beads. Wampum beads were also used for ceremonial purposes and as a symbol of social status. However, the currency was vulnerable to counterfeiting, and its value was subject to fluctuations based on supply and demand. The chokmake, a traditional currency used in the Himalayan region of Nepal and Tibet. Chakmaks were small, flat pieces of silver or gold that were stamped with designs and denominations. They were used as a form of currency in local trade and exchange, as well as for ceremonial and religious purposes. Chakmaks were highly valued for their beauty and craftsmanship, and their value was determined by their weight and purity. However, the currency was vulnerable to theft and counterfeiting, which led to the development of complex security measures and verification methods. The tobacco currency, which was used by Native American tribes in the southeastern United States. Tobacco was grown and traded as a form of currency, with the value determined by the quality and quantity of the tobacco leaves. Tobacco currency was also used for ceremonial and medicinal purposes, and was highly valued for its cultural significance. However, the currency was vulnerable to spoilage and infestation, which made it difficult to store and transport. Kula ring of the Trobriand Islands in the Pacific. The kula ring was a complex system of trade and exchange, in which people from different islands would travel long distances to exchange valuable items such as shell necklaces, armbands, and other forms of adornment. The kula ring was not only an economic system, but also a social and cultural one, as it helped to establish and maintain relationships between different communities. However, the kula ring was subject to competition and conflict, and was sometimes used as a means of asserting dominance or power. Ancient Chinese coinage. Some of the earliest known coins. These coins, used as early as the Spring and Autumn period, 770 to 476 BCE, took the form of imitations of the cowrie shells that were used in ceremonial exchanges. The same period also saw the introduction of the first metal coins, however, they were not initially round, instead being either knife-shaped or spade-shaped. The huaquan was widely used for trade and exchange, and helped to stimulate economic growth and development in China. However, the currency was subject to inflation and counterfeiting, which led to the government's eventual abandonment of the system. Representative money or receipt money. Which emerged in Europe during the Renaissance. In this system, paper money or banknotes were used as a medium of exchange and were backed by a commodity such as gold or silver held in reserve by a central bank. This system provided a convenient way to conduct large transactions without the need to carry large amounts of physical currency. However, it was vulnerable to bank failures, and the backing commodity could be subject to depletion. The commodity money. Which emerged in ancient civilizations such as Egypt, Mesopotamia, and China. In this system, goods that had intrinsic value, such as precious metals like gold and silver, were used as a medium of exchange. Commodity money was highly durable, easily divisible, and transportable, which made it ideal for trade and commerce. It also had a standardized measure of value, which facilitated transactions and made it easier to compare prices. However, commodity money had several drawbacks, such as the difficulty of verifying the authenticity of the metal, the problem of debasement, and the limited supply of precious metals. Fiat money. Which originated in China during the Tang dynasty and was later adopted by European countries in the Middle Ages. In this system, money was not backed by any commodity but by the authority and trust of the issuing government or central bank. Fiat money had several advantages over commodity money, such as the ability to expand or contract the money supply to meet the needs of the economy, the absence of the problem of debasement, and the lower cost of production. However, fiat money was also vulnerable to inflation, as governments could print more money than the economy could support, leading to a decrease in the value of the currency. Electronic money. Which emerged in the late 20th century with the advent of computer technology and the internet. In this system, money is stored and transferred electronically, and physical currency is no longer necessary. This system has revolutionized the way we conduct financial transactions, making it faster, more convenient, and more secure. However, it has also raised concerns about privacy, security, and the risk of cyber attacks. Cryptocurrency, which emerged in the early 21st century. Cryptocurrencies are digital assets that use cryptography to secure transactions and control the creation of new units. They are decentralized and operate independently of governments or central banks, which means that they are not subject to the same regulations and controls as traditional forms of money. Cryptocurrencies have gained popularity among investors and enthusiasts who value their potential for privacy, security, and decentralization. However, they also face challenges such as volatility, regulation, and acceptance as a mainstream form of money. Please, comment, like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at @4YaFreedom. This is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as financial advice. The information provided is not intended to be a substitute for professional financial advice. Please consult a financial professional before making any financial decisions.